Hello everyone, welcome to EduNext Academy. I am Ani and I am going to discuss about our respiratory system that is for the NEET Foundation for class 6 to 9 students. So today we are going to talk about something very special about our lungs. Do you know? Every time we breathe in and we breathe out, that is due to our lungs. Our lungs working day and night, 24 by 7. Okay. It is a balloon-like sac or balloon-like organs which takes oxygen and gives out carbon dioxide from our body. Without it we cannot live because whenever we take oxygen, our lungs takes oxygen, and not only it gives to only oxygen to our lungs, but also it gives oxygen to our every cell of every organs. So it's a very interesting portion that we'll cover in today's video. Please stay with us, watch my videos carefully. So let us discuss about our respiratory system, human respiratory system. So do you know the first thing whenever we born, we take a breath, and the last thing we do in life is also breathe out. So how important is in our life? Our body needs oxygen to make energy. We also make carbon dioxide, and it must goes out of our body. So breathing is a process of bringing oxygen, removing carbon dioxide from our body. So now the main part of the respiratory systems are here. Now see, this is a human body structure. Human body, from starting from nose to lungs, there are several parts. First comes to nose. Nose or first one is nasal cavity. This cavity is the first part of body which takes oxygen from air from our environment. Nasal cavity, as you know, it contains very tiny small hairs and as well as some mucus. And that hair and the mucus both traps the dust from the atmosphere. Also, they traps the germ. Then, after this nasal cavity, the air passes to this pharynx. This pharynx is just like a crossroad where both, for example, this is our throat part. Okay, where air and food they meet. So after that, they divide into food goes to our stomach and air goes to our lungs. Next, come to this larynx. This larynx is nothing. It is a sound box of our body. Okay. When air enter into the larynx, the vocal cord inside the larynx they vibrate. After vibration, they generate sound. Whenever we speak, we laugh and we sing. This is all due to our sound box larynx. Next, when the air passes after larynx to a long structure known as trachea. Okay, this trachea is a long portion of this total respiratory system. It contains small, and that is villi. Okay, small structure which also trap the dust. If some dust remain after the larynx, it also traps there. Then the last part of this trachea, they divided into two parts known as bronchi. This bronchi, whenever they enter into this spongy-like structure, this is actually our lungs. There are two lungs, left lung and right lung. When these branches enter into the lung, it also divides into several branches known as bronchi. Okay, and this lungs is a pink structure, pink spongy-like organs, which contain several air sacs. That air sac is known as alveoli. And do you know how many alveoli are there? If you count both the lungs, there are near about or around 300 crores of alveoli are there. Okay, these alveoli, what it does actually, it contains air. Whenever we breathe in, it stores air inside. Okay, and these small alveoli, they are surrounded by a blood capillaries. That capillaries, when they surrounded by this alveoli, it contains some air which contain oxygen. That oxygen, it gives the oxygen to the blood cell, RBC, red blood cell, that is present in the blood capillary. And blood takes the oxygen, and whenever it circulates the body, our entire body gets oxygen because blood is circulating every part of our body, every cell of our body. When it reaches every cell, it will gives oxygen whatever is collected from the alveoli. It will just distribute oxygen to each part of the body. So whenever we breathe, then every cell, every organs of our body breathes. It gets oxygen. Simultaneously, our body generates carbon dioxide, which is waste products for us. It should remove from our body. So, in during exhale, because breathing are two types, inhale and exhale. Inhale we take the air, exhale we keeps the air outside. So during inhale we take oxygen, during exhale we release carbon dioxide from our body, which is a toxic substance or toxic gas for us. In this way, the entire respiratory systems follows the path. Again, I am repeating. The respiratory system having following parts. Okay, first one is nose or nasal cavity. Second one is pharynx. Third one is larynx. Fourth one is your trachea. And this is bronchi. Fifth one is bronchi. Okay. And last one is the small branches. That is bronchiolites. Next, which some sacs are there. The sacs are basically balloon-like structure which contain air. Both the sacs I have already repeated that 300 crores of sacs are there. Like you can imagine, our both lungs contain how many balloon-like a sac. That means a sac, balloon gas. That is, balloon is filled with gas that we inhale. Now, this contraction, that is exhalation and inhalation, is done by our body, some another kind of muscles that is known as diaphragm. Diaphragm contracts and relax. Whenever diaphragm contracts, our lungs relax. Inhale, we take the air. Whenever our diaphragm expand, our lungs switch means compress. Then we exhale air outside. Okay, this is the whole process. Very simple process in our respiratory system. How the gases are getting exchanged. That means exchange means we are taking oxygen, we are giving out carbon dioxide outside. Okay. Now another thing I want to say that these two lungs are covered by a thin covering. It should our lungs should be protected. Okay. That covering is known as pleura. Okay. So, another thing is that whenever if we measure the surface area of two lungs, it will be equal to our tennis court. Means the tennis you might have playing the whole net area that is equal into our surface area of our two lungs. Now let us discuss some few little questions. Whatever I taught here. That is very simple questions. Okay. So first question is, what is the main job of our respiratory system? Our respiratory system is responsible only to exchange the air. Okay. So main answer is, what is the main job? Main function क्या है respiratory system का? It will exchange the air, takes oxygen and gives carbon dioxide outside. Okay. So answer is exchange air. That means takes oxygen and gives out carbon dioxide. and gives out CO2, that is carbon dioxide. Next question is, which organs looks like a balloon that helps us in breath? That helps us in breath. Obviously, our two lungs are looks like a balloon. It is spongy pink structure organs. Okay, so it is filled with air when we breathing, because inside the lungs there are tiny sacs that actually fills the air. Okay, so that is answer is lung or lungs. Okay, so this lungs is responsible to breath, which is looks like a balloon like structure. Next question is, what is the name of tiny air sac in the lungs? Obviously, this is alveoli. These sacs are known as alveoli, which is responsible to carry. It keeps the oxygen inside. Okay, and also it gives the oxygen to the RBC, red blood cell. Okay, because red blood capillaries are surrounded, present on the surface of this alveoli. Okay, so when it contains oxygen, oxygen is also transport to the RBC. That RBC, whenever it always transporting through our body or moving through our body, giving distributing oxygen to every part of the cell of our body. Which organ in our body, in our throat, makes sound when we talk and sing? So here, this larynx is a very important, play a very important part in our life. It contains vocal cord. When air passes through this larynx, the vocal cord vibrates and it gets sound. So answer is larynx. When you talk, when you sing, when you laugh, that sound comes from that larynx. That's why it is known as sound box. So friends, so now you know about lungs, how it is working. It is just not like a simple balloon. Okay, it is a very important part of our life. There are so many millions of tiny sac is called alveoli, which helps us stay alive. Every breath we take a gift of nature. So always keep your lungs healthy and uh, avoid smoking, and that is play while outdoor games. Breathe deeply. Thank you so much for watching my video. And if you feel it is useful for your future study, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Edonex Academy. And remember, keep breathing, keep learning, and keep going. Thank you.